What's going on, guys? This your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. So it looked like Stephanie White has confessed the hardships she's going to be facing with coaching Caitlin Clark. Guys, we finna dive into this story. For this one here, we got to go all the way up to Indy. Let's get it. Let's go. Now, Stephanie White has been on a complete media tour throughout the city of Indianapolis, granting the local media a lot of attention as she get prepared to take on the challenge of coaching this 2025 Indiana Fever basketball team. Now, we know Christy Sides was let go pretty much a week ago today, and I'm telling you right now, they ain't playing no games. We're getting ready for that 2025 season. Caitlin Clark has been, kind of quiet throughout this most part, getting ready for her golfing event. She haven't really said anything, but she did show up to the press conference yesterday. And just like I stated, Stephanie White has been on a media tour, and she just wrapped up another interview with the podcast this morning. And in this interview, she talked about the hardships she could be facing with coaching Caitlin Clark for the 2025 season. Now, we know a lot of attention comes along with Caitlin Clark, and now it comes along with this basketball team because the ASC Center of pretty much all sports across the country. There is no other team in any major sports bigger than the Indiana Fever as of right now. All viewership numbers, ticket sales, merchandise sales, they is the hottest ticket in the country when it comes to sports, and definitely when it comes to women's sports. With all that being said, let's check out some of that interview Stephanie White gave to a podcast earlier today. Roll the
The
foot.
introductory press conference yesterday. Coach, how much did the presence of Kelly Krauskopf back with the Fever play into your decision?
It was huge. Kelly has been and was the original architect of the Indiana Fever franchise and our first championship. And this league and this team and this franchise is part of her DNA as well. And when I heard that Kelly was coming back, then you knew that this was an organization that was going to continue to take the next steps and going to continue to fight for more championships and put those pieces together. And so that played a huge role. My comfort level with Kelly, understanding of how she works and how she operates, knowing how much she loves this league and loves this franchise, that was a big part of the decision.
The next level, you mentioned that, the next level for this team and franchise is what, in your opinion?
It's competing for championships. We think about the expectation was always to be competing for championships. And I think now we have an opportunity again to be doing that. Certainly it's going to take some time. I mean, these are young players. There's no substitute for experience. If we can get a couple more veteran players around them, build depth in our bench. And those who have been around sports for a long time knows that it's a difficult thing to do, right? Certainly all the stars have to align, but this roster, these players, generational talent like Caitlin Clark and certainly Aaliyah Boston, when she's finished with her career, is going to go down in history as probably the best center that we've seen in our league. And you think about building around those two, championships is the expectation, to compete for championships year in and year out.
New Fever head coach, she's back. Stephanie White with us here on the Payless Liquors hotline. Your team's there in Connecticut, great on defense. So let's talk about defense for a second. What does this and again, I know you all will add players. The roster construct is by no means finished, but being better on defense, how does that start? How do you teach that to this team?
Well, I think first and foremost, we lay the level of expectation. Like, you're going to be expected to defend if you want to be on the floor. And it's not about being an elite one-on-one defender. It's about being a great team defensive team.
Whoa. So Stephanie White, out the gate, let it be known. If you want to be on the floor and if you want to get in the game, you have to defend. Now, we know last year that was a big hole for the Fever last year. They kind of sucked on defense. Stephanie White bringing it already out the gate. Let it be known. If y'all want to play and you want to play PT, you're going to have to step it up when it comes to defense. Let's get back to the footage.
And for us, that's going to start with ball pressure. It's going to start with execution of coverages, multiple coverages, not just one or two. We've got to be able to keep teams off balance, multiple levels of effort on that end of the floor, a commitment to just being solid, to forcing teams to take the shots that we want them to take, for forcing players to take the shots that we want them to take, and playing it from a basketball IQ standpoint. Now, I think this is a really smart basketball team. They have a high IQ. They understand the game. And this is, I think, something that they're going to embrace.
In this state, when you're Miss Basketball and you lead a Purdue to a national title, that holds a lot of high regard. Stephanie White has that on her resume. She's back here as the head coach of the Indiana Fever. Coach, obviously the presence of Caitlin Clark, I don't know if you can even compare really it to anything else. From afar, what has struck you about either her play on the floor and or her ability to handle all of the T-Swift-like mania?
Yeah, I think that she's been so gracious and poised in how she's handled it all. You know, they're mature beyond her years. You know, at the end of the day, you know, she's a basketball player who wants to be the best basketball player that she can possibly be. You know, she's a competitor who wants to win. She's hungry to grow and to get better and to be coached and to help this franchise win. You know, and I think all the noise around her, all of the hype around her, you can't prepare yourself for that. But she and her family have done a great job of navigating. And, you know, I hope that for me, I could just be another resource for her, you know, another person who can help her, you know, navigate the things that she's going through, because it can't be easy. I can't imagine it's easy. And at the same time, you know, her ability to keep the main thing, which is, you know, her job and basketball and to being the best that she can be. I think she's done an outstanding job.
Coach, I think to the casual sports fan, when they look at your resume and they recall, oh, yeah, she was here with the Fever and then left to go take a college job. That's not something we typically see even in the NBA or even the WNBA. So for those that, you know, maybe weren't as following it as closely as they are now, could you take us back to why you did leave the Fever for that Vanderbilt job back, I guess,
wow,
almost a decade ago now?
They getting right to the action.
I mean, there were a lot of factors that came into play, certainly much like this. And you know, it was a different time in the WNBA. We didn't have long-term contracts. We certainly weren't making very much money. And for me, I had 3 young kids, 4 and under, and having the security of a long-term contract. You know, at that time too, I also missed the energy of being on a college campus, the community that you had on a college campus. Remember at those times too, and they probably don't if they weren't watching at that time, but most of the players went overseas in the off season. So there was no one here in the off season. And so it got a little lonely sometimes when you are connected to a team and connected to a franchise and then everybody's gone. So being a part of a college, you know, environment and a college community was something that I was drawn to at that time as well. You know, and of course, hindsight's 20/20, right? Like you always look back on different decisions that we made. When I make the same one, I don't know. But I grew a lot. I learned a lot. You know, my kids are growing up now, and so they're at a different point in their life as well. And for us, the opportunity to return home and to come home was just too good an opportunity to pass up.
Well, we'll end with this, and we thank you for the time because I know it's a busy whirlwind here as you take this job. The biggest thing Stephanie White off the floor is looking forward to and being back in Indiana is what?
Family, certainly. You know, I missed a lot of time away from my family, and you know, not just my direct family with my mom, my sisters, my aunts, my cousins, but.
So, guys, that was Stephanie White on the radio show. I believe that's a podcast speaking about her return to the Fever and pretty much why she left the first time. But make no excuses about it. She's back, and I believe she's here to stay. And it's just going to be an exciting time. Get down in the comments section right now. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Y'all can check out the full interview down in the comments section below. Show those guys some love. But definitely, until next time, man, shake the haters off. I'm out of here, baby. Peace out. Shake the haters off.